Soil is dirt cheap. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. We're going to talk about CO2 and carbon emissions. Okay? And the lie that everybody is told. Now, this problem had been talked about for a long time now. It's talked about in the 90s with Al Gore, when Obama became president and put us into the Paris Agreement, when Trump got us out of the Paris Agreement, and when Biden put us back in the Paris Agreement. Long time. The Paris Agreement actually is kind of a good thing. Okay? I want to see the Paris Agreement build on its successes. Okay? But what it states is we are to reduce the amount of CO2 emitted into the atmosphere by 2% every single year. Great idea. Great idea. Okay? Herein lies the lie that everybody was told. The lie that everybody was told. If we went to zero carbon emissions today, okay, then we would stop global warming. That's the lie that everybody's told. The reason for that is because the amount of CO2 that we already put into the atmosphere is still going to be there. It's still going to be warming the atmosphere, causing our oceans to acidify, or ponds to acidify, or rivers to acidify. It's still going to do that. Now, if you revert back to high school, middle school, even elementary school, and you think about the science classes where you talked about plants, photosynthesis. Oh, plant more plants, and that will try to stop global warming. That was an idea that was presented at the same time the Paris Agreement was. And it was a good idea. Okay? But the thing is it's not going to happen fast. It's not going to happen quick. It's going to take a couple years. Some people prophesize 10 years. Some people say 5. Some people say it could happen this year. I'm not one of those people. I am just sitting there simply saying that just planting plants out in your yard, garden, pots, whatever, is not going to happen quick. It's not going to reduce the amount of CO2 in our atmosphere quick. And here's the reason why. Most people sit there and think that they need to put out a chemical fertilizer to grow the plant. Not necessarily true. This right here has not seen any chemical fertilizers. This is a rose bush, by the way. Okay? It has not seen any chemical fertilizer in its life. Since I've got it, it was just like cut wood. I guess you would call it bare root or something. I'm not entirely sure what you would call it. And it grew this in my living room. But planting out more plants, yes, will have an impact. 70% of the CO2 that is absorbed by this plant, it'll send down to its roots. All plants, on average, 70%. It is then either turned into carbonic acid, which is used to break down rock to get more minerals out of it, mostly phosphate. Yeah, phosphorus, phosphate, whatever you know it as, for the plant to actually absorb it. The other is in the form of sugar. Go back to, again, the high school science class. Sugar is mainly composed of C6H12O6. That is then fed to the soil bacteria okay, to convert organic matter to plant usable fertility. Okay? So if the soil is devoid of life, okay, or the organic matter in the soil is so low that the plant already has put down its capacity load for the soil, then it's not going to send down the CO2 in the form of those two things. Okay? It's not. It is, what it's going to do is absorb the amount it needs to produce sugars for it to grow. But that's only 30% of what it absorbs. For example, this rose bush in a 24-hour period can absorb out of the atmosphere roughly 2.02 pounds. Okay? Now, y'all gonna have to do the math on this one, okay? If I am at capacity here of the amount of CO2 that, or carbon, I should say, that this could hold, I'm losing 70% of the absorption out of the plant. Okay? The plant will photosynthesize 70% less of the CO2 that it normally would. Which, right at 1.4 pounds. We'll put it that way. Okay? Which means I am only getting, if it's just 2 pounds, I'm only getting now 0.6 pounds. 0.6 of a pound out of the atmosphere. So, how are we going to, you're sitting there saying, man, farm boy, how are we going to, do all this I want to help global warming and all this other stuff. If you increase the soil's organic matter, whether you're a conventional farmer or you're an organic farmer, if you increase the soil's organic matter, then all of a sudden you keep that full production of the photosynthesis out of that plant. Okay? Now we're not going to know exactly how much carbon is already in our soil. We're not going to know that. Okay? That's right now, that's impossible to test. But if you are increasing your soil organic matter on your soil test, then you're removing more CO2 out of the atmosphere by planting it. You're probably staying ahead of the game mostly. If you even increase it just like 1% every single year, you're probably staying ahead of the game. Okay? So, be fruitful. Plant you a garden, whether it's for food, for aesthetics, but let's take care of our earth.